Shocking news. I've just found out all this time that the Tories are actually a socialist party.
You vote Tory, you get Labour policies anyway. What we've had is 13 years of effectively socialist government.
What do you know? We've actually had 13 years of socialism under the Tories. I didn't know anything about it. No one told me, but apparently, according to Ben Habib from Reform Party UK, we've had 13 years of Tory socialism. Now, I've seen him pipe up on clips here and there saying this stuff. I've also seen it in like comment sections and on Twitter from conservatives that say, oh yeah, the Tories, they're just socialists. They're socialists. No difference between them and Labour. They're socialists. Now, the only like shred that I could cling to with that statement, I guess, would be when they paid people to stay at home during lockdown. But I saw this video, GBNews, socialists, Tories have turned UK into failed state. So maybe he might be able to explain his position better.
But it's very, very visual, isn't it? We all know that the nation state that is the United Kingdom is threatened. We've lost control of our borders. We have a progressive socialist system that doesn't recognise British culture, British values, British language. Our history is constantly being trashed.
A progressive socialist system that does not recognise British values, British culture and British language. What are you on about? What are you on about? For starters, how is that socialism? But it's just soundbite nonsense. I mean, we love history in this country. Number 4 podcast in the UK, the rest is history. Who's threatening our language? No one. Okay, Farage gets a little bit annoyed when he hears Polish on the train. Get over it. We love our language, our culture. It's just nonsense sound bites. There's no substance, and it's certainly not socialist.
You know, when you look at what Rishi Sunak says, he's got no vision for the United Kingdom. What we desperately need is economic growth. And you don't get economic growth through unbridled migration. That might appear to hold up GDP, but GDP per capita reduces, and you create all sorts of other strains in the economy.
We need migration because we've got a lot of vacancies.
Yeah, we've got a lot of vacancies, but we've got 6 million people in this country, 3 million before the pandemic, before lockdowns, 6 million now, to a greater or less extent on universal credit. We've got a broken labour market. The priority of the government should be getting British citizens back into the workplace.
Okay, so he wants to fill those vacancies with the British unemployed. Should we actually have a look? Let's have a look at the breakdown of who these unemployed people are in the UK. So first of all, I think it's important to actually show that unemployment is at a record low. I mean, it's rising up a little bit here, but 4.3 over the course of the last 30, 40 years is at the same levels of the mid-70s. It's actually at a record low, so that's for starters. So let's actually have a look at the breakdown of these people that are unemployed. Now, this graph is from 2021, and as we saw on this graph here, 2021 unemployment was a lot lower than it was today, but the categories are still relatively the same. So as you can see, the majority there are people that are off sick. Next is people that are caring for people that are sick. Next is people studying. We have a massive boom in foreign students coming here to study. It's massive business in this country. They've got a lot of money. They're not really working. And then you've got retired. And this one down the bottom here, discouraged, which I guess is the group of people that he's trying to get to, isn't it? It's the ones that he deems as lazy. But I mean, look, and it almost shows if you actually sort out the problems in the NHS, sort out the understaffing in the care sector, you could get a hell of a lot of people back to work, couldn't you? Now, you know, I agree with what he's saying. We shouldn't always just rely on immigration to fill jobs. There is a massive slice of the population that can do these jobs already. But look, they're all sick. They're all on waiting lists with the NHS, bloody 6-month waiting list to get an operation. Or the care sector is unaffordable for so many people that family members are having to do it for them. Sort out this area here and you'll get people back to work.
In tax on working class, not inheritance tax, by the way.
How many seats will you be standing in against the Tories at what could be a spring election?
630 seats. We've already got 440-odd candidates lined up. We will be ready to stand right across Great Britain.
So some would say you need to do what the Brexit Party did in 2019 and step aside to ensure a Tory victory, because otherwise you'll be handing the keys to Keir Starmer.
If you vote Tory and you get another Tory government, you're going to get Labour policies. All we've had under 13 years of ostensibly conservative governance is Labour policies. We have all the symptoms of progressive socialism gone wrong. National debt out of control, taxation out of control, an economy that isn't growing.
So his theory that the Tories have been a socialist government over the last 13 years is down to high tax and high borrowing. I think I need to remind this guy what the definition of socialism is. The definition of socialism is a fair redistribution of wealth. The definition of communism is when the state owns the means of production. Socialism is just a fair distribution of wealth. That's what socialism is. Do you feel like the last 13 years we've had a fair distribution of wealth? Do you feel like that is at the core of a conservative government over the last 13 years? Fair distribution of wealth? Now, I get this high borrowing. That is associated with socialism. But the Tories done the easy part. The borrowing is the easy part. The hard part, which actually makes it a socialist policy, is to invest that borrowed money into public services, into NHS. We saw earlier the amount of people off sick are caring for family members. That borrowed money needs to redistribute to sorting out the NHS, getting those people back to work. It's, you know, the Tories do the easy bit. I think they do like a 1% of the bits they like from socialism, which is the borrowing money, and then they just siphon that off to their donors, lucrative contracts, all that sort of thing. So they're high borrowing, but cutting back on public services. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I see this all the time. I'm sure you do as well. Oh God, the Tories are socialists. No, they've done the easy part. They didn't do the hard part, which is the redistribution of wealth. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, guys, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. And please, give me your comments. Are the Conservatives a socialist party now? According to Ben Habib, they are. Till next time, take care.